Hello everyone, welcome to Oliveboard. My name is Dinkar Purwar and I welcome you all in this session. I hope everybody will be going through all my session regarding the NABARD Grade A top 25 descriptive question and answers. So here we are discussing around the top 25 question and answers which are very important as per the exam perspective for NABARD Grade A examination for phase 2, because these are some of the very basic questions that we will be discussing. And here sometimes we also discuss some of the technical thing related to this, but normally you have to just understand the concept behind each and every question, and you have to answer the question what is written in the question. That only you have to answer. Do not just go and write anything else. I would just first of all, I wanted to tell each and everyone that I am correcting the NABARD Grade A Phase 2 questions papers which peoples are writing on our portal. So some peoples are writing very well and they are writing as per the questions requirement, but some peoples are writing they are writing something like whatever knowledge they are having regarding the topic, they are just vomiting out that. Okay, and there is no proper flow of the answer. Even the flow of the answer is not proper. So sometimes they are writing something else, and again the concept has changed, and again they are coming back to the same concept. Okay, please go and read the questions and write the answer as per the question what is written. Do not just simply vomit out each and everything which you know. Okay, and whenever you are writing any of the computer based tests, that is CBT, right now all the organization are conducting that CBT only. So always make sure that you have a proper speed limit, proper word limit, and you should do not commit any kind of spelling mistakes, because these are the things where the people are going to cut your marks and all those things. I have seen many answers which are written in a very organized way, in the form of headings, proper headings. As per the questions, they have given headings: introduction, conclusion, then features, objective, and so they have explained the questions in the answer itself. Whatever is asked in the questions, they have mentioned that thing, and then they have started writing the answer. So there I feel very good, like now people are understanding what to write, what not to write. So I just request you, whenever you are writing any question answer in computer based, make sure that you just write what is given in the question. Okay, do not simply write anything. Okay, just make sure that you just write the answer based on the question what is asked, and leave everything else. Okay, now so we will start with our session today. And today's session is our lecture 5 on ESI ARD current affair descriptive answers. Okay, so here sorry, I just got a bit of cold. Sorry for that, as the weather is changing. Okay, so here in the part 5, we will be discussing around 6 questions which are based on crop description. Okay, which will be based on crop description that will be there. Okay, so first of all, let me see how many people are there in the session and how many are attending the session. Okay, lots of people are there. Okay, I welcome you all in this session. Okay, if you have any kind of query, just write it in the chat box. I will answer that. Okay, so the first question for today is, what is water budgeting and the importance of water budgeting? Write about the water use efficiencies and its indices. Okay, so here they are asking about water budgeting. What is that? Then what is the importance of water budgeting? What is water use efficiencies and their indices, like how we measure that? Okay, so first of all, we will be starting writing with the first part of the question is, water budgeting is the allocation of water received including anticipated within the crop period and in detailed account of expenditure of efficient and profitable farm management is called water budgeting. So this is the definition of water budgeting. Okay, that means allocation of water receipt including anticipated within the crop, how much crop will be requiring over a period of time in a detailed account of expenditure. Okay, for efficient and profitable farm management. Okay, so now we are coming to the second part of the question, that is, what are the importance of water budgeting? First of all, if you are doing water budgeting, you have come in a situation where you have a efficient utilization of available resources. and you can also bring more area under irrigation practices. Okay, then it will help increase the productivity farm per region per farm. It also helps in increasing the crop intensity. Okay, and it also makes sure that there is no dry spills in there, because water is very important and moisture is very important for the crops to grow. Okay, and it also reduces the excess irrigation and the losses that has been caused by these things, and it also avoids the runoff of the water. That means simply the water is running off like that, and people are simply using the water without understanding how much water to use, where to use, and when to use. Okay, now water use efficiencies and indices. Okay, so how we do all these things? So an efficient irrigation system implies effective transfer of water from the source to the field with a minimum possible losses. So here we are, first of all, we have to make sure that from where we are collecting the water and where we are sending the water, there should be minimum loss that should happen. Okay, the objective of the efficiency concept is to identify the nature of water losses, where all actually the water losses happens, and how we can improve that water losses so that the water losses doesn't happens. Okay, then we also have to make sure that we have to evaluate the performance in terms of efficiencies and prerequisites for proper use of irrigations water. Okay, so these are some of the indices. First of all, we have to check irrigation efficiency, how efficient our irrigation system is. It is defined as the ratio of water output to the water input. So how much water input we have given, and from that input how much crop productivity we are getting. That is the ratio of percentage of irrigation water consumed by the crop field to the water delivered from the sources. That means how much we are delivering and how much water is consumed by the crop. So in most of the irrigation project, the irrigation efficiencies range between 12 to 34%, which is very less, and most of the water is getting lost somewhere. Okay, now water convenience efficiencies. Okay, it is a measure of efficiencies of water convenience system from canal networks to water courses and field channels. So it is related to how we are transferring the water from one place to the other place. So here we have talked about the canal networks. Okay, it is the ratio of water delivered in fields and the outlet heads to that diverted into the canal system from the river or reservoir. Okay, so it is like that, how much water is coming from the out of the water resources and how it is going to the infield. So these are the water conveyance efficiency that we are talking about. Now water application efficiency. So water application efficiencies, it is a measure of efficiencies of water application, how efficiently we have used the water in the field. That means it is a ratio of volume of water that is stored in the root zone of the crop and ultimately consumed by the transpiration or evaporation or both water actually delivered to the field. Alternatively, it may be defined as a percentage of water applied, how much water is applied, that can be accounted as an increase in the soil moisture, how much soil moisture is increased by the application of field as occupied by the principal routing system. So here we are taking the routing system as the how proper efficiently water application efficiencies here we have decided based on routing system. Then water use efficiencies, having convened so all these things are having formulas. All these things, water conveyance efficiencies, water application efficiency, water use efficiencies, all are working on the formula system. They have a formula. I have not written formulas over here because we have to normally know about the text. Okay, first of all we should understand the concept, formula comes later. Okay, so all these things, how to calculate these things, so the formula is already there for it. Okay, so now water use efficiencies, having conveyed water to the point to use and having applied it, the next efficiencies concept is the concern with the efficiencies of the water use, that is expressed in kilogram per hectare centimeter. Okay, so water use efficiencies is also defined as crop water use efficiencies, how properly the crop is utilizing the water, and field water efficiencies. Okay, so crop water use efficiencies and field water use efficiencies. Then the fifth way is water storage efficiencies. What is water storage efficiency? It is defined as a ratio of water stored in the root depth by irrigation to the water needed to the root depth to bring it, and also termed as water storage factors. Then we have a sixth point, that is water distribution efficiencies. That is the expression for distribution efficiency is to evaluate the extent to which the water is uniformly distributed. That means how uniformly, how properly the water is distributed throughout the field, so that we should make sure that it should not get stored at a single place. The water should be used uniformly. Okay, that is why we have a new system that are coming, drip irrigation, sprinklers, and all these things are coming up. Okay, so this is all about our what is water budgeting, what is the importance, and what about the water use efficiency. So we have discussed various indices. These are the indices through which we can understand how we can properly utilize the water system. Okay, now the second question comes is explain the cultivation practices of wheat. We have taken that wheat as a just to explain you what is the cultivation practices of the wheat. So wheat is a rabi crop. Okay, long day plant which is widely cultivated in north of India, usually northwest of India. Selection and preparation, how we are selecting and preparation of the land. So soil with a clay, loam and loamy texture, good structure and moderate water holding capacity. It should have a moderate water holding capacity. These are things which are ideal for wheat cultivations. Okay, so these can be come under in the form of MCQs also. These can come under the form of your descriptive answers. Okay, so normally this crop is sown in the first week of November. That means right now the people are preparing their land for the sowing of the rabi crop, that is wheat, and it is last sown till 15th of December. So the seed is treated prior to sowing with Therama and the rate of 3 gram per kg of seed. Okay, the normal seed rate is 100 kg per hectare. So around 100 kg of seed you have to plant for 100 hectares. Okay, and for late sowing, if you are sowing it late, then you have to put around 125 kg per hectare. Okay, the manuring and fertilization of the crop is done in the following ratio. Okay, so FYM 10 to 15 tons per hectare. Nitrogen has to be provided like around 120 kgs per hectare. Phosphorus 60 kg per hectare. Potassium around 40 kgs per hectare. That has to be provided. All these fertilizer has to be provided in this ratio. Okay, then how we are going to protect our plant from the various diseases, insects. Okay, so since wheat is a disease prone plant, so we have to control that. Remove of the smuttle ear heads as soon as they emerge from the boot leaf. Then how we are going to protect from the rust. Dark brown and black or orange yellow pustules are formed on the leaves, leaf shuttles, and steam in the colored month. Okay, colder months. All these things are happening in the wheat field. Rust causes drying up of the foliage. Okay, because of the rust, it causes drying up of the foliage, and consequently it reduces the yield. That is why we have to remove the rust from there. Then how we wanted to protect from the insect pest. Termites are there or white ants are there. Termites or ants are serious problems in irrigated sandy soil. So if you have a irrigated sandy soil or loamy soil, then it is very difficult to control termites and ants. So irrigate, how to control them? Irrigate the affected field and it prevents the termites damage to some extent. Okay, then you can also utilize steam borers. Is bore the steam cause the dead heart in early stage of the crops and the white ears in the ear head stages, and pull out the dead heat and the white ears along with the larva and pupa and destroy it by burning. So this is how various things are there. Okay, hello Kalim, welcome to the session. I hope you are enjoying the session. Okay, and today at 9 p.m. I have a current affairs session that we'll be discussing. Okay, now how we are going to harvest it. Harvesting of wheat should be done as soon as the grain are ripe. So as soon as the grain are in the ripening position, we have to harvest that so that we can avoid the losses of due to the shattering of the seed. Okay, so normally the moisture content during the harvesting stage should be around 25 to 30%. So normally yield, if it is an irrigated area, we will get around 40 to 45 quintal per hectare. Or if it is a rain-fed area, we'll get less, like 20 to 25 quintal per hectare, and average yield is around 30 quintal per hectare. This is how the wheat cultivation is done in our country. Okay. Now we have come to the third question for today. Third question is, what are the problems that are faced by the farmers while cultivation of our cotton crops? What are the problems that are faced by the farmers while cultivating for the cotton crops? Cotton is a most important commercial crop that is cultivated in India. Usually cotton is cultivated in the black soil. Okay, in the mainly in the Deccan Plateau. Okay, India is the second largest cotton producer. Okay, India is the second largest cotton producer of the world, but the cultivators are having a several problems with them. Okay, first of all, the first problem that we will be discussing is rising cost of the production. Rising, when the costs are rising of the production, that means the input cost, that means how much inputs you are putting, their prices are rising. Okay, their prices are rising. So what are the inputs? Inputs are seeds, fertilizer, labor. These are the input cost that are the issue. Even the government has provided the minimum support prices offered to the cotton, but they are very far below that is actually required to cover the high input cost. That means even the government is providing the minimum support price for the cotton crop, but they are far below which is really required to cover the highest input cost. Sometimes government has to take the make sure that the input cost should be in a level playing field, so that the rising cost should become little bit lesser. Okay, then GM companies, that like genetically modified companies, that means the companies who are producing GM seeds, sell expensive cotton seeds and fertilizer. Okay, cotton is highly sensitive to lepidotrin. It is a pest attack. Okay, so these cotton are highly sensitive to this kind of pest. Okay, in India, cotton is only grown in which GM crop is allowed, and BT cotton naturally protect itself from the pink bollworm. However, country, it has been reported that farmers are not getting engaged in the growing unauthorized hybrid cotton, that is STBT cotton, which is resistant to glyphosate herbicide. So normally a farmer are asked to grow the GM crops, okay, genetically modified crops, which are self doing a self, they are doing protection, self protection for their crops. Okay, but right now farmers are facing a little bit of problem in utilizing these kind of seeds because of some kind of issues related to this kind of seed. Okay, so in order to decrease the labor cost, so labor cost is also one of the most important thing of weeding, and farmers are opting for STBT seeds. Okay, normally labor costs are high because there are too much of weeding in the crop. So in order to remove the weeds, labors have to be applied, so we have to pay the cost to the labors. For that is why farmers are opting for STBT herbicides, whose effect is currently not known on existing cultivars. Okay, now we have come to the second problem. So the second problem is the decrease in the stagnant yield. So there is a decrease in the yield also, which also deteriorating the quality and the productivity of the soil due to the high use of pesticide. Since we are using high pesticides because there is too much of weeds and insects that are coming over the crop, so that is why we are using high range of pesticides, and they are now the pests are becoming really resistant to these chemical doses. Okay, so if you try keep on giving too much of pesticides, so automatically the pest become resistant to that chemical doses. Okay, now the third one is inability to manage water resources. So water resources are not proper, and there is an inability to manage it properly and efficiently, and there is a depleting groundwater resources are there. So around more than 35 of the areas under the cotton cultivation is rain fed, and there are very poor irrigation facilities are there, and they are exposed to the monsoon fluctuation. There is a huge monsoon fluctuation that is going on. Okay, because of that. Now we have come to the fourth, sorry, this one is the fourth and this one is the fifth. So sorry. So there is an absence of modern technologies in the cultivation of cotton. In cultivation as well as ginning has affected the yield, which is not only low but also contaminated. Cotton is vulnerable to contamination. So if you are not protecting the cotton crop properly, it will contaminate automatically very easily. And during the time of harvesting, marketing and ginning stages, proper care has to be taken, but it has not been taken. So if you are not taking proper care during the harvesting marketing side, so it may get contaminated and your whole crops may get destroyed. Okay, now the fifth issues that cotton cultivation farmers are practicing is deteriorating in genetic purity. So since we have introduced many kind of genetically modified crops in the cotton cultivation, so there is a deteriorating in genetic purity. So now the purity of the cotton is not that much which was earlier in the years. Okay, of the cotton variety and hybrid seeds, and with inconsistencies in the admixtures of the cotton fiber, it becomes very difficult to access the quality. So here we cannot access the means how good quality of the cotton that will be, especially by export firms who focuses heavily on the quality consistency. So since cotton is a commercial crop which we sell outside. Okay, which we sell the cotton we sell outside, and outside their exports are heavily dependent on quality consistency. That means whatever quality they are asking, you have to provide that only. Even if it is getting lesser, little bit lesser than that quality, they will automatically cancel your consignment. Okay, so that is why there is no proper way how to properly access like what kind of seed we can use, how to access proper quality. Okay, so we don't know properly how to do that. Okay, and because of there is a deteriorating in the genetic purity, we are mixing one thing with other thing, loss of herbicide, pesticides we are using, so we cannot determine what kind of quality will be coming from the new crops. Okay, so and there is a huge competition from artificial fibers is also there, which have lowered the cost of production and display higher consistency. So cotton has to compete with that artificial fibers also, because they are prepared in an artificial way and they have a lower cost of production and they display very higher consistencies are there. Okay, now then the fifth one is fluctuating market prices. Fluctuating market prices for cotton and inability to compete in the global market that reflects the lower price due to the significantly large subsidies to cotton farmer by Western countries. Okay, so there is a huge fluctuation that is happening in the market prices for cotton, and there is an inability to compete in the global market because other countries are providing huge subsidies. Other countries are providing huge subsidies to their own cotton farmer by the Western countries like USA, Canada, Mexico. They are providing large subsidies to the cotton farmers. Because of that, their cost of production of cotton is getting down. That is why Indian cotton people don't want to buy, because it is getting at the higher cost. So because of that, there is a huge fluctuation in the market price. Also, it has been difficult to develop a globally competitive cotton industry in India because of the average quality of the cotton that is produced in India. Okay, now among the nation growing cottons, cotton picking is completely manual India. Normally in the Western countries it is automation based, but among the nation growing cotton picking is completely manual in India. In India, this process is manual, that is hand. People have to use their hands and do all the manual work related to that. Not many varieties of the cotton produce are available for mechanized plugging. Mechanized picking is better than hand picking since it can later leads to contamination. Okay, okay, however, the most important things to be done before mechanized picking is to defoliate the plant. No appropriate defoliation has been done in India. Cost of picking cotton from the farm has also increased because of the labor cost and all these things. Okay, so when the farmer plugged it manually, farmer has to do twice or thrice, but mechanized plugging can be done only once. So will our farmer will for to go for extra picking, ergo and extra money they will earn on picking for the quality. Okay, so because of that, labor cost are getting higher in India. And also there is a lack of participation of Cotton Corporation of India also. So we have a one Cotton Corporation of India. From there also we are getting a very lack of cooperation in the procurement has affected the interest of the cotton growers. Farmers are in distress. Farmers are feeling very distressed because of the lack of bulk purchase and procurement. Okay, and by unregistered traders, this is impacting both APMCs and the farmers. So Cotton Corporation of India has to do something for the cotton, otherwise this whole industry will fall in the recent future. So they have to make sure that all the available method that they can use, they can utilize that, so that they can become competitive in the international market, because here are some of the things where we can actually do some work and we can become competitive in the world. Okay, if we keep on leaving all the things, so we have to then export each and everything from outside only. So if we are good at something, we have to make sure that we should maintain that. Okay, now question number 4: what are millets crops? Why they have been emphasis given on consuming millets crop nowadays? That means, first of all, you have to tell what are the millet crops and why there has been emphasis given on consuming the millets crops nowadays. So why people are asking why to eat millets and all those things. Normally millets are grown in the very dry region and all those things. Millets are grown on a highly variable small seeded grasses. They are widely grown around the world as a cereal crops or a grain for human food. They can act as a human food or as a fodder for animals. Okay. So some of the types of millets crop that has been grown for human consumptions are foxtail millets, proso millets, barnyard or Japanese millets, or pearl millets, or finger millets. So these are some of the 5 type of millet that are used for human consumptions. Okay, now these are some of the millets. You can see these are the small grain size. Okay, koda millets, jowar, then pearl millet, foxtail millets, banyan millets, little millets, and all these things are there. Okay, now so maximum area that has been under millets is in Rajasthan. Maximum area of the millet is in Rajasthan, okay, followed by Maharashtra, then Karnataka. So Rajasthan is on the top, then second is Maharashtra, and third is Karnataka. Normally the water requirement is very less for this crop, 450 to 650 millimeter total growing period, which is far below than the traditional cultivation of the staple crop. So these crops require very less of water, okay. So today, lots of effort are being put to increase the demands of millets. So there is a huge demand to increase the use of millets in the world, including changing the mindset also of the people to start utilizing millets in their food. Okay, many organizations, they are coming up with to support these causes, where there are huge reasons why they wanted the people to use millets. Efforts are being taken to educate the farmer about the better millets growing techniques, and a lot of importance is also given because it is non-gluten tendency and less water requirement for the growing of the crops. So a smart food campaign has been highlighted for encouragement of the millet growing and adoption in our diet. We have to adopt this in our diet because it is a good tagline. This smart food campaign is a type of organization that is a tagline: good for you, good for the planet, good for the smallholder farmers. Okay, so a smart food will be taken forward as a partnership, and many organizations have already teamed up for popularizing the millets in India. Indian Institute of Millet Research is there, the National Institute of Nutrition is there, MS Swaminathan Research Institute is foundation is there, and Self-Employed Women's Association, that is SEBA, is also there for creating awareness regarding the millets consumptions throughout the world. Okay, so there are two broad categories of millets, mainly the major millets and the minor millets. While pearl millets, sorghum, finger millets, and foxtail millets come in the category of the major millets, while such as sama, koda, chinna, they are coming under the minor millets. Okay, each millets has its own importance. So it is not like this all millets have the same quality, but each millets have their own different qualities are there. Okay, while some millets such as finger millets, they are full of calcium. They are full of calcium. Some like jowar, they have a huge potassium and phosphorus. Then foxtail is fibrous, which is very good for stomach, and koda is rich in iron. So normally the nutritional value of these millets are, they normally provide around carbohydrate, dietary fiber, fats and proteins in the proper ranges. They provide in a proper ranges. And right now you know that many lifestyle diseases, lifestyle many lifestyle diseases have come, like diabetes, then your blood pressure, and all these things are some of the lifestyle diseases are there because of the type of food that we are consuming nowadays. Every day we don't have a proper fiber requirement. We do not eat proper fibers. We cannot eat, we are not eating proper proteins, and we are taking huge carbs, food and all those things, and our lifestyle has totally gone out of the way. Okay, some people are normally living in a proper way, but I'm just telling about the most of the world who are doing all these things. So this millets is one of the things which can create a huge impact in your lifestyle, and even it will protect you from the various diseases, because these are highly rich in various type of minerals which are required by the body, which we are not providing them. Okay, so that is why there is a huge demand of millets in the world, and that is why they have a very less water requirement, less water they use. Okay, and even the smallholder farmer can grow these millets in their farms. Okay, so that is why these millets have been promoted so widely. Okay, so now we have come to the question number 5. What is the role of forage crops in the Indian agriculture scenario? What is, first of all, what is the meaning of forage crop? Okay, forage crops, these are the edible parts of the plants, eatable parts of the plants, other than separated grains. That means you have separated the grains from the plant, but whatever is left is called forage. Okay, that provides feeds for the grazing animals. They can be harvested for feeding. The forage play an important role in the beef cattle industries, which also encourages the crop diversity, wildlife habitat, soil ecosystem. Okay, it is just like when you are separating rice, when you are separating the wheat, some part is left, right? That part we are using as a forage crop, which the grazing animal can eat. Even beef, cattle, all these people can eat. It helps protect the crop diversity, wildlife habitat can it provide, the soil ecosystem services it can provide. Okay, so it is defined as eligible edible plants of the plants other than the separated grain that provides feed for the grazing animals. So forage crops are normally grown in the Kharif season. They are normally grown in the Kharif season. Following are the different type of forage crops: alfalfa, then clover, rye, sundan grass, sorghum, and maize. Okay, in the maize you will get lots of forage. Okay, you just have to take out the maize crop and then you can just leave it for the animals. Okay, so what is the main advantage of forage crops in agriculture? Okay, forage crop have a grassroot system. Normally they have a grassroot system which can improve the organic matter content in the soil. First of all, they helps in improving the organic matter in the soil. Forage crops contain rich in vitamins, they are rich in fibers, they are rich in proteins, and enhance the metabolic activities of the animals. So these are rich in vitamins, fibers, and proteins. Okay, so they help in enhancing the metabolic activity of the animals. Forage crops can be used for the preparation of the silage, which can be sold and act as an additional source of income to the farmers. Okay, so normally silage, what a silage is, it's just like a pasture gas. They normally they cut the crop, okay, and they sell it in the market. Okay, they just pick it from there and they sell it in the market. Normally they sell it in the market. Okay, so this is like a pasture. Normally people send their animals to the pasture land to eat. Normally what the farmer do is, in the places like some towns or urban areas, they just cut that grasses and they sell it in the market. Okay, now it is a method used to preserve the pasture for cow, sheep to eat later when natural pasture isn't growing, like in the dry season. Okay, now forage crop, if included in the crop sequence along with the animal husbandries, it has a huge increase in the benefit cost ratio from the agriculture. So forage feed the animals and the animal fertilize the soil. So keeping the livestock arable farmers add values. It will add values to low value surplus food. They can use labor more efficiently and diversify the risk. Okay, so that it just provide a kind of another kind of diversification of farming activities. Okay, so that farmer just simply do not depend on the grain which he is producing. He can also depend, he or she can also depend on the additional matter which waste material which they can use it for selling. Okay, now dairying being the labor intensive sector, entry by may provide better opportunities for gaining employment for surplus farming labor, particularly small and subsistence farm. The farm byproducts can be utilized economically in such mixed farms. Besides inclusion of milk productive activities, the farm business would provide dependable and regular cash flow to the farmers. Okay, so if forage crops are there, it reduces the weed development, because weed develop where there is no proper crop, so weed start utilizing all the nutrition of the soil. If forage crop is there, so forage crop will utilize all the nutrition and there will be very less nutrition for the weed development. Okay, then it also help in reducing the soil erosion. Okay, it also helps in reducing the soil erosion. You can understand it, right? Now we have moved into the sixth question for today. That is going to be our last question for today. In recent times, the prices of pulses have increased. Is due to low yield or due to lost acreage under the lemongrass crop? What are your views upon current trend of the cultivation of the pulses crop? So they are asking you why there is a increase in the prices of pulses. Is it because of the low yield or the less area under the cultivation, or what is the main reason, and what is the current trend that has been going on in this field? Okay, pulses are a type of leguminous crop. They are harvested solely for the dry seed. Okay, dried beans, lentils, peas, these are the most commonly used and consumed type of pulses are there in the market. Okay, so around in 2019 and 20, 28.34 million hectares was under the pulse cultivation. So the main prime reason for low productivity of pulses are mainly being grown on a marginal and a sub-marginal land. On that also under the rain-fed condition, that is why they have a low input usage. Okay, less than 15% of the area of the pulse is irrigated, rest all dependent on the monsoon. So that is why they have been exposed to weather related risk. That is why they are exposed to the weather related risk. Okay, there have been no proper technologies that has been incorporated with respect to pulses, and there has been no aggressive plan to increase the cultivation of pulses. Okay, thus contour of the crisis become very clear. So everybody understands. So there are quite few factors that affect the yield of the pulses. So there are few factors that affect the yield of the pulses. So what are these factors? They can be climatic, they can be soil, then the timely availability of the input, and properly using the high yield variety of the seed, and there is a short duration of the pulse varieties. There is less investment in mechanization, proper irrigation is not provided, pest management is not done properly, and crop specific farms are not there. There is a change in the cropping pattern because of the climate change that is happening. Okay, like people are started doing double cropping or intercropping. Level of development is not there, infrastructure has been not provided. We have created infrastructure for mainly for the cereal crops properly, but for the pulses we are exporting the pulses from outside. We are not developing that much of pulses so that our nation can feed on that. We are exporting the pulses from the other countries. Okay, and we don't have even proper supply chain market mechanism also is not there. Proper efficient supply chain market mechanism is also not there. Okay, now what are the important government initiative have been taken in the field of making pulses one of the prime producers? So National Food Security Mission that has been launched in 2008, main aim is to increase the production of pulses by 2 million tons by 2021. The government has roped in international crop research institution and semi-arid tropics areas along with various agriculture universities so that they can work with the farmers, so in order to use rice fallows for pulse cultivations. Okay, they can utilize the rice fallow land for pulse cultivations. Then there is an integrated scheme for oilseed, pulses, oil palms, maize, that is ISOPAM, that was launched in 14 major pulses growing state. Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana has also been launched to undertake pulses development program in India. So these are some of the key government initiative that has been taken by the government, especially for increasing the cultivation of pulses in India. I hope the answer is clear to everyone. So today we have discussed 6 questions, and I hope people are not having, if people are having any doubts related to any question, they can just ask me right away. Any questions? Anybody has any kind of questions, they can ask me right away. Okay. Anybody who has any kind of questions, they can ask. Okay. So today at 9 p.m. I will be talking about the bad banks. At 9 p.m. session, 9 p.m. session today, we will be talking about bad banks. Bad banks. This is the important series every day at 9 p.m. which we have created. Especially here we will be discussing some of the important concepts that are coming in news and everything related to their basics, to their advanced knowledge, and why they are in news, that we'll be discussing today. So I would just request everybody to attend at 9 p.m. these lectures, which are very important for your exam point of view. Okay, till then, never forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Happy learning. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye. Take care. See you at 9 p.m.